Hello and welcome back to my chronically cozy life. We're going to do something a little bit different today because I want to talk about the fact that I am writing a book. So this has been a goal of mine for a while. I've kind of always really wanted to, and I am making it a focus this year. I started writing at the beginning of January, December 31st actually, and I've been writing throughout the month. And I didn't want to film this at first because I wanted to just kind of get into it and get a feel of it and kind of figure out my writing style, I guess. So now that I'm a month in, I felt like it's about time. So I'm writing a cozy fantasy, kind of, Legends and Latte in style, kind of cozy fantasy. It doesn't have a title yet, and I am a very go by the seat of my pants kind of writer, so I'm kind of as surprised by the plot as my readers might be, and I don't know if that's the best way to write, but it is the way that I write, so that's what works for me. I started taking on writing larger projects when I heard about NaNoWriMo about, I think it was, I want to say 6 years ago now. I did the first NaNoWriMo and I did it and I won, which for anybody who doesn't know, NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. It's kind of this organization put together kind of this challenge of writing 50,000 words in a month. It's a very, some people take it very seriously, but there's no one's tracking, no one's really checking. Everybody's a winner if they can write that much. So yeah, when I did my first NaNoWriMo, it was the first time that I actually wrote a longer piece, and I really loved doing it. But then at the end of the month, I hadn't finished the book, but I had finished the challenge, and then December happened, and then I fell out of the habit of writing again, and that story got forgotten. I still have it, but I don't want to look back at it actually. And then I think I took a year off, and then I did it again, and I tried to go back to that story and revise it, and then I found that I didn't really like it, so I tried to do something different, and I tried to write short stories, and then I found that I didn't really like that, so then that kind of month was just a write-off. And then I did it again a couple of years ago, and again, I won. I wrote my 50,000 words, but again, I didn't finish the story, and then December happened, and I fell out of the habit of writing, and nothing ever came of it. So this time, I am not taking part in NaNoWriMo. I actually waited till after November to start writing, and after December, because I knew that would throw me off. So I started it after all of that, and this time I am not setting myself a very strict timeline or necessarily any really strict goals, other than I want to write and finish this book, preferably this year. So it's a very loosey-goosey kind of goal, I guess. So far, as I've been writing throughout the month, I have 13 chapters, and that comes to 21,000 words. Pretty proud of that. I'm not a big tracker of words. I did start tracking it because I decided I wanted to do this video, and I know that a lot of people do mention the number of words that they're at, but it's something, again, the whole goal of NaNoWriMo was to write 50,000 words. I was so focused on that 50,000 words that I wasn't really paying attention to the flow of my book so much, and then once I got to that goal, I just let it go. So I don't have a word goal per se, but I am tracking the words, and I'm tracking how often I'm writing. I am trying to still work on getting into the flow of writing, because not only am I writing this fiction novel, I'm also doing a lot of writing for work. I'm a freelance writer, freelance content writer, and a blogger. So I have to keep up with my personal blogs, and I'm learning more about writing, and I'm writing about writing, and for my business blog. So my writing routine is currently a little out there. I'm trying a new thing right now because I have to balance my fiction writing with my blog writing and my content writing and my still looking for a freelance writing job. So I am trying to get into the routine of writing on the weekends and putting a lot of time into my writing on the weekends. So today is Saturday. So hopefully I will get lots of writing in this weekend, and then I can give a couple days in my week to my more professional writing, and then back to the fun stuff on the weekend. So like I said, I'm a very right by the seat of my pants kind of writer. I don't really follow a strict plan per se. I also forget to take notes. So I'm writing along today, and I wanted to mention a character that like a very side character, a townsperson that came up in it, and realized that I couldn't remember their names, and I went to my character guide that I did start a document for a character guide, and realized that I had not written down any of the characters mentioned. I couldn't even remember the name that I gave my main character. So now that I'm a month in, I'm into the flow of it. I think I've got a good idea of where it's going. I know how I want it to end and where the main points of it and how I want it to go. I just don't know yet how it's going to get there. I need to sit down and really look at my characters and give them a better description, and look at the world as a whole and give it a little bit of a better description, just to make going forward a little easier, so I don't have to stop and wonder every time. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on today. I do all of my writing in Google. I don't use any of the fancy writing software. I do most of my looking for ideas and inspirations on Pinterest. I haven't created a writing or a novel board yet, but I think I'm going to sit down and do that as well, so that I can get some ideas for some descriptions of my characters. I think the process that I have in mind, not that I know what works for me per se, but the process that I have in mind is that I am just going to focus on writing and getting the whole storyline down. And I'm trying not to really stress too much about the specifics of the words and the specifics of the descriptions and the really in-depth parts, because I know that when I go through and edit it, which I've never really edited a book, so that's going to be an interesting process in itself. But when I go through and edit it, I know I'm going to want to add and change a bunch of things anyways. So I figured that that's when I will add in more of the flowery descriptions and the real deep feelings and stuff like that. So right now I'm just focused on the process and what happens and who they're talking to and a little bit of the dialogue. I think the dialogue is probably very boring as is right now, and it's a lot of she said, he said, without much description. Just I know that I'm repeating myself too. I think I say they smiled at her a lot. I don't know why. So that's stuff that I think I'm going to focus on adding after. But yeah, so this is my first weekend where I'm going to really, really focus on writing and filming it. 13 chapters in. Oh, I always kind of do the chapters are, they'll probably be reworked maybe, but when I sit down, I try to, whatever I write, whatever scene, whatever thing I write, that's usually one chapter. So they might get absorbed, there might be less chapters, more chapters, I don't know in the end, but usually I end up writing one chapter every time I sit down. What I'm going to do now is work on writing a better description of the world, do some world building notes, and write some better descriptions of my characters and get a little bit more clear on who they are and what they look like. I might do a little bit of cruising around through Pinterest to get some ideas of these characters. Yeah, I think that's going to be my focus for today. And then I'll have a little bit of a better idea of where I want to go with everything tomorrow. So yeah, as you can see here, yeah, I don't even have a title. I've called it Cozy Fantasy. There's all my chapters, and I usually write how many words are in each chapter. I just went through and actually wrote it all down into a Sheets document so that it would total it all for me. So that's what I've got so far. Okay, so this is my notes and my outline that I wrote when I had the idea in the first place. So I'm going to go through that. I did write a little bit of a description of what I wanted the MC to look like. And then I just started putting together this character guide that I needed to go through and actually give all of these people like a little bit of a description. Okay, so here is the vibe so far. Kind of cute. Okay, I'm gonna try not to just lose myself and waste too much time in that. So I'm gonna go over to my character guide, and I think I'm gonna start filling this in, maybe taking a couple of these pictures and adding it in. Yeah. Okay, I think I've got my pictures to the people for the main characters that I've got so far. So I think I'm probably I've got a good idea of how I want to describe them, but I'm probably just gonna kind of let that flow a little naturally and fill it in as I go. The next thing I'm gonna work on is figuring out what exactly I need to know for world building, which is not something I would say I'm super good at. So I guess it's something I have to work on. I don't really know how per se, because I don't think that the big world is going to play much of a role in this story, as much as just her little world. So I guess I have to figure out more the village that she's in and the layout of the her neighbors and stuff. Yeah, might have to get out some paper and draw some things here, I think. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna work on now. I like how I feel like it's all coming together now, and just kind of I'm getting a vision of it all, and I know where I want it to go, and now I'm getting all excited. Yay. So in general, I am not pro using AI in any kind of like creative writing, but when you need something like prompts to help you think of something, it's fantastic. So I put the basic idea of what I needed into chat and just told it to ask me questions to help me build this world. So now I have kind of a layout of how I'm going to actually go through this and put it all together. Hey, stop licking all my stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to sit down and do that now. And it's like 1:50 now. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep writing after I'm done that. We'll decide. We'll see how we feel. Okay, I think I have all of the like basic stuff that I need, and everything else I think will be filled in as I go, since I don't know some of it yet. My brain hasn't told me. So I do think I'm going to keep vlogging for this weekend, but I don't think I'm going to continue writing for today because now my brain is very tired, so I think I'm gonna go turn it off for a little bit. Tomorrow I will be picking up with chapter 14, and depending on what's going on tomorrow, I'm definitely going to sit down and write in the morning, but depending on what's going on tomorrow, I might try to see how much I can write in a day. Maybe. Seems like a good time. Hello, it is Sunday and we're at like, I don't know, it's like 1:30. I've already been doing a lot this morning on my book. I decided, I sat down to write this morning and then decided that I thought I needed to do some editing and I needed to give it a quick read through while I was still only at like chapter 13, just to make sure that I was on, like I wasn't like mixing up information. And I did find a few points where I like had doubled back on information or wrote the wrong name and different things like that. So I'm just about to reread chapter 13 and give it a quick edit, and then I'm going to go back to writing because it's the weekend and I can. Okay, so I am done editing chapter 13, and during the whole process I mostly lost words. I went from 21,000 to 20,000. Not a big deal at all, who cares? So I am going to get into writing chapter 14. And I think I've got a couple good notes of where I think everything's going to go and how I think the timeline is going to play out. But to be honest, I'm still always surprised by how it actually does go, because I just, like, as I'm writing, I get ideas and I'm like, oh, hey, maybe it'll work that way. It's just always kind of been my process, and I kind of enjoy it. It makes writing a little bit more fun when you don't know what's coming, I guess. Right? Hello, happy Monday. Monday is my Sunday, so it is still my weekend writing time. I've already been writing for a couple hours this morning, and I kind of forgot to pick up the camera. I told myself I was going to once my husband left, and then I just completely forgot because I was already, like, in the flow of things. So I've already written a chapter and a half, and I think my goal today is going to be 3 chapters. I don't normally set myself amount goals, but since I'm filming and everything, and I'm also kind of, like, really trying to focus on doing this, I think I'm going to set myself a goal today. So I think my chapters are usually, like, they're usually anywhere between, like, 1,500 and 2,500 or so. So in theory, it'll probably be around 6,000 words added to by the end of the day. But as per usual, I don't like to set word goals. I was watching another video where someone was setting word goals, and she was really forcing herself to get to that 5,000 words, even though it wasn't, like, flowing the same way anymore. And that just looks uncomfortable. I don't think I want to do that. I want to focus on, just focus on the story, more or less. So, like, that's why I'm going for writing 3 chapters of the story, because that's usually how I, like, break up my time as well. Right now I'm going to eat some foods because I'm hungry and brains need fuel. And I'm working from my soft office today because I just didn't feel like I could sit in my chair. My hips are just not into it today. And I'm absolutely definitely going nowhere today because it's like -10 and snowing and gross outside. So okay, we have refueled. I have another coffee, which is just a reheated coffee from this morning. I have my laptop open and ready to go. I'm on chapter 16. Pretty excited about that. I think it's going really well. I think that my biggest difficulty right now is that I've kind of got, like, a few different plot line points started, and now I have to figure out how they're all going to work together and proceed. So I'm not really sure what exactly I want in this center part of my book right now. I know where it's all going, but I don't know exactly what I want of this part right now. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. No, just come in. Look at that. Yeah. Spot for you. Okay, so that is, oh, what did I do here? Oh no. Okay, there. So that's 2 chapters done. I think that's probably the most I've written in a day in a very long time. And I still want to do another chapter. I have written 5,474 words so far. And everything's just flowing. I kind of figured out that, like, this is the point where I was going to take the main character and her mother, which the big story is about them, to a new level, towards their, like, fixing of things era. Yeah, so I'm pretty proud of that. I'm gonna take a bit of a break, a little bit of a mind break here for a little bit, and then I think I'm gonna come back and try to write the 3rd chapter before my husband gets home, which should probably not be too long because it's very cold outside today, so I can't imagine they're gonna be snowboarding all day. Okay, I've had my little break, turned my brain off for a little bit, and I am ready to get back to it because I don't want to lose the motivation that I have gained. I am going to end my video here though, and if you've stayed this long, thank you for hanging out with me while I've been writing this weekend. If you want me to post more writing updates, please leave me some comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye!